CD Projekt Red finally broke their silence regarding patch 1.2, releasing what seems to be a teaser of the changes that are coming in this particular patch. So let's dive into what they said and see what is going on. As always, click that like and subscribe button if you want to support the channel, and let's get into it. So just recently CDPR released patch 1.2 development insights talking about a few things that they want to change, and the first one is the response of NCPD or the entire wanted level in general, which was broken because every time you attack someone, a civilian, you will have police officers spawning right behind you. I made a video on that, so you can check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you do. They said here that the response team was way too quick and they will minimize that to give the player some breathing room. Lead gameplay designer Patrick and Vukash, technical designer coordinator, said this about this particular problem. This is an important step in addressing the behavior of the police in our game. It should decrease the problem of NPCs spawning behind players' backs and create an impression that it takes some time for the police to arrive at the crime scene after crime was reported. We've also added a recon drone unit to create the feeling of police assessing the situation. So as we can see from the short vid, drone appears first right behind us. Not a fan of that. If I actually wanted to implement a drone, I would have the drone come from the outside as well. It kind of appeared right behind the player's back as well, but it seems to me that the police itself is going to arrive on the scene and not only spawn behind the player. Again, this is just a tease. I don't know if this works or not. We shall see if this is done properly once the patch is out. Next up, vehicle driving. It does seem that they finally fixed the car stuttering, because the car was actually stuttering sometimes in turns. And with this patch, as far as I can see from the video, it's a lot better. Seamus, the senior vehicle programmer, talks more about the issues. Analyzing feedback on our driving model suggested a lot of players were having issues with the speed of the steering. Most complaints came from players using keyboards on PC or were on platforms with lower frame rates, and centered around how hard it was to keep cars off the sidewalks and such. We have added a steering sensitivity slider to the options menu. This allows the steering speed of all vehicles and all input devices to be slowed down without affecting the maximum turn radius. When experiencing lower frame rates, our cars were harder to control. We traced this to some code that wasn't handling extreme changes in frame rate properly. The steering speed is now very consistent from 20 to 60 plus frame rate. Last, we looked at a bunch of tweaks to individual cars and adjusted some of them that were too twitchy in low frame rates, including the player's Archer Hella. So besides fixing the overall vehicles, it does seem it will behave better even if the frame rate drops, which I do applaud. And I'm also worried about some FPS in this video because there are some drops, and that was in the 1.2 version of the game. One thing I do recommend to everyone is remove all of the mods you have for car driving and handling, because once the update is out, all of the changes are going to interfere with your mods, so be sure to remove most of those mods before the patch comes out, otherwise you might have potential issues with the game. You can now also rotate vehicles if they get stuck. I mean, sure, didn't have a huge problem with that, but okay. But I do hope that the minimap is extended because I might be wrong, but it does still seem the map is the same and it's still not extended, and it's going to cause problems when you are about to make a turn and you don't see it on the minimap. And also they fixed some controller related things, including dodge on double tap, adding more bind options, which is a good quality of life improvement in general. So what do I think about this? Well, it does seem that the patch itself is coming soon. I honestly thought it would release today, but I was obviously corrected. And I applaud the devs for what they had shown here, but I hope that other issues are solved, like frame rate drops, stability of the game. How is the game running on PlayStation and Xbox? Is this patch going to be enough to bring back the game on PlayStation Store? For me personally, that's more important information, which I do hope they will reveal soon. And look, I want to see the final thing. So far this is just a tease, nothing too much. The real thing is the patch, and I hope for CDPR's sake that it fixes at least some of the things from the game and everyone has an enjoyable experience. Until then, who knows. I mean, I stopped doing videos of Cyberpunk until the update drops because there is no point in talking about the lore or having, discussions so far until things are fixed. And also, the craziest part is that the version that I'm running now on PC is less stable than the version I had when I was reviewing the game prior to the launch, so that's one of the reasons why I'm not doing videos until the update is actually here. But you tell me below, are you happy with the tease? What do you want from patch 1.2? And do these updates bring any hope to you or no? Tell me down below and check us out on Twitter and Discord. I also have Odyssey, which is a YouTube alternative, and if you want to support the channel in an extra way, you can check me out on Patreon, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, stay civil and stay classy everyone, bye bye.